Dinarland from Zap, Jester's Place, KTFA, Rayren98, IQDcalls.com chat room and others. First up from Zap. Hi all, by the end of this week our project funds will begin their sequence, and the elders are greatly pleased that all is in readiness. Oh, the currency exchanges are going full force, I understand. Most of the people I know got the information that closing are this week, and the cutoff for submissions is already here. This portends well for everybody. God bless. Love and light in our service, Zap. Next from Jester's Place. Do you think there will be any good windows/timeframes for the reset to occur in 2017? I know no one knows the date. Just wondering. I am still hopeful for this year. I am told that there are things happening and moving forward. It is just a long drawn out process and it is taking time, just like we always predicted. I wouldn't worry too much over the gloom and doom Iraq guys. Or those calling it for Wednesday. But rest assured they are working on it and things are happening. Take it easy everyone. Next up from Rayren98. We sent out a weekend update about Alec and other dignitaries, including the PM, talking about full liberation of Iraq, with Daesh surrendering in the 2 remaining provinces. Also Rafi Bank is focused on their international credit cards. Also, the Kurds seem to be making a new agreement that should be made clear on Wednesday. That was the weekend's information, and today, we are going at a steady pace but getting there. For all intents and purposes, Iraq is once more in control in the disagreement with Kurds. Now from KTFA. Some thoughts. Much has been achieved, even to the point of the GOI submitting monies to various ministries via electronic debit instead of the old-fashioned way of sending pallets of cash and expecting the best. The monies sent to retirees, again, debit card, no chance of pilferage. You see articles that inform us that Kurdistan and Baghdad are to participate in a conference. Do you actually believe they would be hanging out together if there was a threat of internal strife? We know Kurds can't go anywhere. The international world basically said knock it off. If there were forces entering Kurdistan, guess what? They can. Why? Because there is no country called Kurdistan. It's a self-proclaimed territory in the outbacks by a tribe that claimed to have its own government. Guess what? They are Iraqi. It's on Iraq land. There are several ways to see this. 1. We know that the majority of the public are just reactionary to what we are fed by the media. Example, the articles relating to Kurd/Baghdad situation. How do we know there is a situation? Because it's what it is reported in the media? Who controls the media? Of course it's controlled, and for a reason. Who is controlling it? Obviously someone that has a reason to. What is the reason? Only thing I come up with that makes any sense to me is timing. Timing of what? Well, we know that if we look back at the events that have happened in Iraq since 2003, we can see a pattern, at least I do. The pattern is also demonstrated by the Sunni, Shiite, Kurds. The pattern is that each of the factions do one thing at a time, one item then the next. They have a situation that follows a situation. I haven't seen where 2 situations happen at the same time with the same faction. Example. A few months ago we all were looking at little maps of green liberated areas relating to the progress of the Iraqi army efforts to rid of ISIS. I call this the left hand. It's a show. It's what is portrayed in the media. During that time the Kurds had a wonderful opportunity to have a referendum. I know firsthand that what was demonstrated as news when it was presented is not factual, because when the article spoke of the forces finally entering the Grand Mosque, please, the forces were in there a few months before that, because a video was leaked and several folks in KTFA saw the very same raised podium where al-Baghdadi made his proclamation. It's a show. There is always one event after another that causes an action and a reaction in Iraq, but you never see 2 events happening at the same time, except for reports of various battles with ISIS, but that's just about done. According to who? The media. I personally see, aside from what is being presented. You may watch the show, the actors, the lighting, the expressions, even follow the storyline. I see the fact that there is a show going on, but I question, okay, Who gains what from this? Why are they doing this? What is not being concentrated on? I personally am smiling because of the fact that there is a reason this show is being put on. What better way for Abadi to demonstrate that he has the ability to govern the country? To show that he has control of it. I love it. I can't wait for the next act. 100,000 fake visas were seized in Iran to Iraq 1 hour ago. Iranian police seized 100,000 fake visas to Iraq for Iranians seeking religious visits, a newspaper reported Monday. The security forces dismantled a gang of 6 people and seized 100,000 false visas as the 40th anniversary approached, said Tehran Police Chief General Hussein Rahimi. We are visiting Karbala, about 100 kilometers southwest of Baghdad. Now from IQDcalls.com chat room. From Dinar researcher. Baghdad is waiting for a French return to the Iraqi market. October 17, 2017. Economists predict that France and its companies will return to Iraq to contribute to the reconstruction process, which will be launched after the completion of the task of liberation from the Daisy. Experts believe that the recent visit of Prime Minister Haider Abadi to the French capital Paris was to launch the green light for France to return after a long absence. France was Iraq's most important partner in the volume of trade in the 1970s and 1980s, but its role declined due to economic sanctions imposed on Iraq after its invasion of Kuwait. Since 2004, France has resumed its limited economic activity and Paris has cancelled some €4.8 billion of its old debt on Baghdad in 2005 and 2008 under the Paris Club. This amounts to 80% of the debt owed to France. In the year 2015 the level of trade increased somewhat to €1.26 billion, and the volume of French exports to Iraq about €430 million, which indicates that the share of France in the Iraqi market remained modest. Trade with France did not exceed 1% of foreign trade of Iraq. A member of the Committee on Economy and Investment, Representative Abdelkrim Nakib, said in a statement to the extent that France is one of the important European poles and has accumulated experience and has a long history in the field of various investment. He adds that Abadi's recent visit is a step to open the doors of investment. He said that Iraq is open to all countries in terms of investment. He also said that most of the liberated areas need great efforts to lift the mines, explosive remnants, and projectiles planted by them during the fighting, and that the Iraqi government will cooperate with the international community to usually ages. French companies are active in Iraq in various sectors, including fuel, electricity, and transportation, environment, construction, and health. Economist Bassem Anton believes that Iraq has old historical relations with the French side, whether diplomatic or economic, and adds in a statement to Range, the French side was neutral in its positions on Iraqi issues, but notes that French businessmen are afraid of coming to Iraq despite the numerous calls from the Iraqi side because of the unstable security situation. He added that Abadi's visit to France is positive and will open doors for investment in various sectors as a reassuring step for the French side, noting that the French companies will have priority in the reconstruction of liberated cities and in other areas in different provinces, noting that the French side has been before him, he said, noting that French companies have open areas for investment and have already opened their doors to invest in 10 sectors. The most important of which is the industrial sector, because the Ministry of Industry and Minerals has many projects waiting for investment, estimated at 250 industrial projects, and in the agricultural sector as well. He adds that Iraq has also called on French companies to build schools and universities because the French have a high potential in education, in the banking sector. The 25 major French companies have announced their readiness to work in Iraq and contribute to its reconstruction in various fields. During his visit to Paris, Prime Minister Abadi visited the headquarters of the French Employers Organization, MDF, in Paris and held a discussion session with the heads of major French companies, who informed them that the liberation aims to achieve stability and the start of a reconstruction campaign for all Iraqi provinces and especially liberated from them, which we succeeded in moving to the stage construction, referring to the government plan and investment opportunities available to French companies to develop their investments and start new projects in the sectors of oil, energy, housing, infrastructure, and basic services, telecommunications, roads, industry, agriculture, environment and other vital areas to achieve an economic renaissance that our people look forward to, will invest the available resources, absorb the labor force and provide a wide range of jobs. For their part, the heads of French companies expressed their desire to work in Iraq and contribute to its reconstruction according to the terms of reference of their companies, and made several proposals and inquiries about investment opportunities and the labor market in Iraq. From Spectra. Vietnam may enter currency fray in 2015. With the Vietnamese dong pegged to the US dollar, the surge in the greenback puts Vietnam's non-commodity exporters at a significant disadvantage. Meanwhile, growth is slowing in 3 out of Vietnam's 4 largest export markets. April 6, 2015. End report. More at iqdcalls.com.